Welcome to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and I'll break them down into bite-sized tips you can use straight away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and Shine. It's your daily dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Leetham, episode number 546 today. Still on Zoho Mail. I'm actually heading across to the admin side of things. I want to show you some data migrations today. One of the things that we often need to deal with is, well, we're going to transfer from Google Workspace or Outlook or our server-based mail to Zoho Mail, and we want to take all the mail that we've already got in those accounts and bring them into our inbox so that when we log in, we've got all of our mail there. We can see it, we can use it. We're not going to lose it because we transfer across from one provider to another. That's a big thing. Lots of people don't realize you can actually do it. You can do it pretty much with all of the big platforms, transfer mail into them and out of them. So with Zoho Mail, I'm actually going to go through a data migration today. We're going to start with migrating from Google Workspace. And then in other ones, I will do one from Outlook, if I can get an Outlook account to do it from. And we'll just do a server-based one as well, using IMAP or POP3 to do it. So today we're just going to look at Google Workspace and how we would transfer mail from Google Workspace. I hope you are in for a wild time. This is going to be a step-by-step. I will guarantee you that I will get something wrong as I go through, mostly because there's a lot of little steps you need to go through, and it's really important when you're doing these sorts of things that you follow the steps and do each and every one of them. Even if you look at it and say, what do I need to do that for? Do it anyway. If it doesn't make sense, do it anyway. It's there. It's generally there for a reason. Okay, so we're going to do this. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you where you find your data migrations. Then I'm going to show you how you authorize your Google Workspace account. Then I'm going to show you how we transfer from one account on Google Workspace into another account on your Zoho Mail. Here we go. We are in my admin screen. For those of you that are unfamiliar with it, you log into zohomail.com, log into your account, come up to your profile up on the right hand side. Actually, let's just go back. This is my Zoho. I'm flicking screens. I do apologize. This is my Zoho Workplace account. I'm an admin. I have a Zoho Workplace account. You get a very similar look. In fact, let's just go in. If you were just on a Zoho Mail Lite account, you would get this kind of screen. You have the same sort of access though from your mail account. You do need to be logged into an admin account. Come up to your icon and click on Admin Console. That will take you to this screen here. I've already got it up. I don't want to have to reload the tabs. Once you're on your admin screen, you can come down the left-hand side where your menu is and locate the data migration window, tab, option, icon. Choose which one works for you. And once you're in there, I've actually deleted all of the migrations. I had a whole heap of migrations in here because I've already migrated things into this account from other providers. In here, you've got a couple of things. We've got the migrations. We don't have any migrations started. It puts you straight into saved server details. I've got no server details saved. I've got settings. You can configure multiple items here. Nothing saved. And applications, we've got nothing authenticated. Now, what we're going to do, it puts us into Save Server. You can get into Google Workspace from two places. One is the application, one is Save Server. They both end up in the same place. From here, from the Saved Server Details, click on Add Server Details. And then when it's asking you to choose your protocol or application, choose Google Workspace. Pretty simple, right? Give it a name. So I'm just going to call it that. And now it's going to ask you to enter your Google Workspace super administrator and email address and the service account email address. Now, before you even get to this box here, you'll see that it says here, upload secret key file. I don't have a secret key file. I don't even know where to get it. Let's find out. To connect to your Google Workspace account, please provide the email address, service email address, and the secret key file. Click here for more details. So I've already got that open in a new tab. That takes you to here. I am going to work through this process step by step. I would recommend that you do the same thing. Even if you've done it a million times before, work through it step by step. So this is going to authorize Zoho Mail to access Google Workspace. We've got all of this information. I'm just going to come down Google Workspace authorization. As an administrator, you can use one of the below options to authorize Zoho to access your organization's Google Workspace account. We can use Cloud Shell, which they recommend, or Google Developers Console. Given they recommend using the Cloud Shell, don't try and say that quickly. I am going to try that one. Like I said, this is going to be a bit of a journey because there's a lot to get through. It's telling us here to log into our Google Developers Console, so let's go and open that up. I think I've already logged in. Yep, I'm already logged in to the account I need to be. Log in with your Google Workspace admin account. Get rid of that. It's going to try and sell you some stuff. You can ignore it if you want. Don't worry about that. I can't dismiss that screen, otherwise I would. Okay, so we're now logged in. We're in the screen that we want to be in. Come back. Click Activate Cloud Shell from the upper right-hand corner, and it's showing us over here. Now, I know because I went and had a look at this earlier before I started this video. Like, where the hell is that? So we come in here. You've got all of these icons up the top, right next to where your profile icon is, right to the left of it. You want the one that looks like a screen with a bit of writing on it. If you mouse over it, it will tell you activate Google Cloud Shell. Okay, I'm going to click on that. Now, I haven't activated this previously, so it's going to ask me to activate it. Manage your infrastructure and develop applications from any browser with Cloud Shell. Cloud Shell comes with Cloud SD, all of this stuff. This is free to all users, so this isn't going to cost you anything. You don't have to up your subscriptions or anything to do this. Click on continue. We're just going to wait for that to provision. Needs permissions to use your credentials to make cloud API calls. Click authorize to grant. So we're going to authorize it to grant it the permissions it needs. Oh, of course, it's going to ask me to log in again. Let's see if I got that right. Typed it wrong. Of course I did. Told you it's going to be a bit of a journey. Because I was already logged in. We're ready to go. Now we have this screen down the bottom. This is Cloud Shell. I think I can, yes, we can pull it up. So I'm just going to pull it up a little so we can see it. Just so you know, to pull it up, you see there's this little bar here. If you mouse over it, you get the two-headed arrow. Hold your left mouse button down. You can up and down it. All right. I think that's what we want to do here. Next. So that's step 2. Yay. Copy the below script and paste it into the Cloud Shell console. Okay. Copy it, highlight it, copy it. I'm going to just check on these next couple of steps. We want to enter a project ID, select authorize, and then click download to save the JSON file, which will be the key that we want. Okay, we're going to get there. Bear with me. This should be it though. Yep. Okay, so we want to copy that, enter a project ID. Let's just go through it. Come back to Cloud Shell, paste in that script, hit enter, enter a project ID. I think I can just put that, Migrate 1. It's a descriptive name for your project. I hope that's all it is. It's already in use. Okay, let me try that again. Of course it is. Because I remember I said I've already done a migration from this account. Okay, vid demo one. I 07022025. Okay, I'm just going to copy that into my clipboard so I remember it because I have. Oh, I didn't get it right. Yes, I didn't. There we go. Do that again. Like I said, this is going to be a bit of a journey for us. I've got it in my clipboard. I'm happy for that. Enter. Right, we're back to where we needed to be. It's creating the project. It's authorizing us to do what we need to do. I don't understand much of this stuff. I don't actually really need to understand it until it breaks, and then I need to understand it. It's created the project vid dem ho 7022025 or 07022025. Now it's asking us to download the file. So let me click download. I'm going to download it just straight to my downloads folder, and it's viddem. Yep, okay, so it's giving me the name of the project, .json. Okay, we've got that. Let's head back here. We need to open it, and we need to look for the client email and the client ID. Once you've downloaded the JSON file, you can proceed. Okay, just going to pause the video. No, I'm not going to pause. Yes, I'm going to pause the video just for a moment. I'm going to open that file and show you that file. Okay, I've got that file open. I actually use VS Code Editor. You can just use a text editor, just Notepad will allow you to open it. You can right click on the file and say open with and choose. I don't want to go through that. I've opened it up. It's a text file. It's text readable. I'm sure that the text you're going to look at it and go, we don't know what it means. There's two things that we need to get from this file, and I'm going to have one of these blurred out, only to save my, or two of these things blurred out only to save my privacy. One is the private key here. That's going to get blurred out, but that's really important, and knows that he's going to have to blur that out. The other one is my client ID is going to get blurred out as well, but I am going to copy these two things, the client email and the client ID. I'm actually going to copy them to my clipboard. If you've been watching my podcast for any length of time, you'll know that I use a little application called Ditto. And what that does is that lets me have a buffer in my of all my copies and pastes. So I can do this and I can actually call them back without having to go flick between the screens. Okay, so I've got those two copied. We're going to go back to this screen. So going back to our authorizing. We've got the two pieces of information they asked us to get. Once we've downloaded it, we can proceed to granting access. So we're going to click, and it's going to scroll us all the way to the bottom of the screen. Yay! Log into our Google Workspace admin account, go to the security menu. Okay, let's go do that. It's opening a new screen. So I've just opened that in a new screen. We're going to go to the security menu and select the API controls and access data. Okay. This is my Google Workspace admin account. We need to go to security. Here we go. And this is where it gets a little tricky. Security menu and select API controls under the access and data control. Okay. Access and data control, API controls. That's where we want it. So just to make that clear as to where we were, it's in the left-hand menu. You're going to have to open it up, come down to security, access and data control, API controls. You'll see that I've already got a lot of things here allocated because I've done this previously. Okay. Under domain-wide delegation, click Manage Domain-wide Delegation, and on this page, click Add New. Okay. Woof. here under domain-wide delegation, this bottom box at the bottom, manage domain-wide delegation. We don't have anything here, so we're going to have to click add new. Now we need our client ID. I'm pretty certain that's got to be our client ID here. In the client ID, click the client ID that was generated. This is why I copy it into my clipboard. So just bring up my clipboard. Client. And then in OAuth scopes here, this is where it gets really, this is where it's cool. It gives you everything you need. You've just got to copy this, select it all, copy it, come across here, and in OAuth scopes, comma delimited, paste, and it pastes everything in there for us. Okay. And now if we click authorize, invalid client ID. Did I copy the wrong thing? Just bear with me. I promised you it was going to be a ride. I didn't copy the whole client ID. I missed one of the numbers in the client ID. So I've copied that. Let's see if I got it right this time. That looks better. Okay, so we've pasted in all of the APIs. We've got the client ID all right, correct. And we've now can see that we have authorized all of those APIs that user, that client ID can access now. So what that's telling us is that Zoho, when it goes, it can call these APIs, and we've authorized it to call these little programs that run on the Google side of things to do what we need it to do. Let's continue on. Once this is done, this will grant access to the service account, details to be entered. The service account email that we've just downloaded will be able to be used. Okay, so, okay, like I said, you've got to go through every step and make sure you get it correct. So now we can go back to that screen we were just on, this one. Sorry, that screen we were just on, the Zoho data migration screen. What we need to do is enter our super administrator email, which is my email address. And we need to enter the service account email address. Now that came in that file that we downloaded. So I'm just going to copy that in there, and that's the service account email address. So I've just copied that in there. Now we need to upload the secret key file. That was the one that we downloaded just then. And I'm just going to go to our downloads folder. Welcome to my messy computer. There we go. That should be it. So the JSON file, the JSON file that we just downloaded with all of those details in it. Let's click authenticate. Yes. Okay, looks like we're authenticated. It tells me that the server configuration is GGWH, it's Google Workspace. We're ready to go with the save server details. Now we need to go to save settings. We need to click add settings. We need to choose the server that we've just created. Now, why do we do that? We can have multiple servers. We can be migrating from Outlook. We can be migrating from Google Workspace. We can be migrating from a normal server, and we can have them all configured, ready to go to do our migrations. You're not just limited to one migration type at a time. Well, one migration type. You can have them all set up, ready to go. Name the names for this one. So we're just going to call it Learn About Dogs. Give it a name that means something to you. What do we want to migrate from? Well, I want to migrate my mail, my contacts, and my calendar. We'll see how that goes. Folders to migrate. We want to migrate everything. You notice down here that it'll exclude folders. So if you want to exclude folders, you can just type them in here and comma separate them. If you only want to do specific folders and migrate specific folders from your email, you can do that and put their names in here. I prefer to do all folders. I want to get all my mail across. I even want to get my spam across, although you can exclude it here. So I'm going to delete spam from there. It's then asking you what emails do you want to migrate? Do you want to migrate everything in that account? Do you want to migrate from a specific date? I choose all. I want to get everything across because I'm going to close that account down. I don't want to lose anything. That's me. I like all my emails. I like to know where I'm at with things. But you can choose a specific date and it will give you a calendar that you can choose from a specific date. So I can go back to, nope, that's wrong. That's years. Notice how that just went through the years because I'm an idiot. It's going to go from January 1st, 2025 till today. Okay, so I'm only going to get the last 6 months worth of mail if I do that. And I just turn on all emails. The next one, enable pop access for the migrated emails. What this means is that if you don't turn it on, if you use POP, Post Office Protocol, to connect to your mailbox, it won't download these emails when you log in. If you say enable it, it will actually transfer everything from this account down to your mail client on your PC if you're using POP. I'm going to say no, I don't use POP. It's up to you. If that didn't make any sense to you, feel free to ask. I'll try to make it clearer. It's one of those things that mail does that gets a bit iffy sometimes. Other preferences: exclude duplicates for inbox emails with multiple labels. Yes, so if we've got an email that has multiple labels, we only want one copy of it to come across. We want to mark important as tag. Yes, we want it, if it's been marked as important in Google Workspace, we want it tagged as important in Zoho Mail. And if it's been starred, we also want it tagged in Zoho Mail. Going to click add. Okay. And that tells us everything here. So we're not quite done yet. We're not quite done. The next thing we want to do is come up to data migrations. Want to come up to data migrations. So what we've got now is we've got a server. We've authorized ourselves to use Google Workspace, our accounts on Google Workspace. We've told Zoho Mail what we want to bring across, how we want to bring it across, how we want things tagged. Now we actually have to tell it which users we want to bring across. So we're going to go back up to the migrations tab, and we're going to say start a data migration. The name for this migration, I'm just going to call it VidDem July 2, 2025, just so I know what it is. I go to select the saved server, so the one that we've just created. It tells us who we are. We're going to say proceed. Select the settings associated with, so now we have to select the settings that we've created. We've got those ready to go. How many connections? 5. So that's how many times can it connect to make things faster. Tell us when. Now, this is important. If you're not sure if you're going to have enough data storage on your new account to bring across all of your emails, what you don't want to do is fill up your storage with old emails. So you can actually tell it to pause a migration when your storage reaches 80% or 95%. I'm going to say 95%. I know that it's not going to get anywhere near there, but just in case, I'm going to say create. Okay, cool. So now we're getting close. Migration status, it's yet to start. It was created. When are we pausing it? So it gives us all of the details we've just set up and selected. It's a nice summary screen for it. I'm going to hit users, the users tab at the top. So we haven't defined any users. So if I was to hit start, it would say, well, you've got no users. We can't do anything. We need to add a user. We want to enter the username. In this case, I've only got one user on Google Workspace, so we're just going to put that in. And I want to transfer that to my info@learnaboutdogs.com account. So here is where you choose your destination email address. Now, question that I hope you're asking, Charlie, can we have those emails go to multiple email accounts? You can. You can't do it in this particular screen just yet. I'll show you something in a minute. But you can have something come from Charlie at this from your originating Workspace account and have it go into multiple different email accounts. Why you would want to do that? I've actually had a client do it. It was a really good reason. You wouldn't necessarily want to do it. And what priority do we want to make this transfer? We want this transfer to be a high transfer, high priority transfer. Going to click add. Now, to answer that question and just show you how you would do it and see if you can do it in this screen, can I have emails coming from that account into multiple accounts on my Zoho account? Let's give it a go. Let's put in our email address and have it go to, there we go. And I'm going to set that one to low. We're going to say add. You don't have to set it to low. Okay, so it's telling us at the moment. We'll see if it lets me do it. I'm just thinking I don't want to mess up things here. I know what I'm going to do. That's cool. Okay, so it's telling me that we've got the 2 transfers ready to go. It says that it's yet to start. I'm not going to start migration. There's probably one thing that you guys want to do. I'm just thinking. Sorry. In this case, what I want to do is tag anything that comes in as Charly at getgoddesswebhosting.com.au and have it tagged so that I know that it's come in and I can find it more easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to head across to my mail account and I'm going to go into my filters. This is something that you guys might want to do. And I'm going to add a new filter. I'm going to call it transfers. Any of these conditions, anything where the from address contains the address that it's coming across from. Any of these conditions, or yep, that's what I want, and anything where it comes to that address. Or anything where it is CC'd to. Yeah, I'm being a little annoying here. Pedantic. Okay, so I've added 3, and what I want to do, I don't want to move it to a folder. You could move it to a folder, but I'm just going to create it and tag it as GGWH. I'm going to give it a tag so that color, so that it comes out pretty for me. I can find it. I'm going to click create. And I'm going to say save. Okay, so what that's going to do, the reason I set that filter up is when I run this transfer over here, this filter will kick in and it will actually tag things as GGWH, I hope. Okay, so we're back in the migration screen now that I've created a filter. That's something that you might want to consider doing, is just creating a filter so that you can tell whether it's been, where it's coming from. Like, is this the old stuff? Is this the new stuff? You might not want to, but you might want to as well. Like I said, it's going to be a bit of a ride today. Okay, we're going to click Start Migration. Let's see what it does. Once started, the data will start to migrate and you cannot add or delete users thereafter. Are you sure you want to start this? Okay, so don't panic here. Oh, I don't have all my users in. That's fine. You can run multiple migrations. You can do 2 or 3 users at a time. You can do 1 user at a time. Do this in a way that makes sense to you. I actually have done transfers, or I've got 10 or 12 users to do, and I've done them 2 or 3 at a time, mostly because then I don't overwhelm the servers and I'm not waiting for all of the transfers to do. I can get users up and running and start training them and then start training the next group and then start training the next group. So you can batch it down to 2 or 3 at a time. You can do all of them at once. Don't sweat that you haven't got all your users in here, because you can just add another migration and have it go for the rest of the users. Okay, going to click start. Okay, so you'll see here it's telling us that this is in progress. It's doing something. We've got the whirligig at the bottom saying migration is in progress. I'm going to pause this here while this runs. This might take a little while. In fact, I'm not just quite going to pause it. Okay, come back and have a chat to you. It might take a little while to run. It depends on how much mail there is in those accounts to transfer. Depends on how many accounts you are transferring. You do need to monitor that screen. You don't have to sit there and watch it and wait and wait and wait. You can go and do other things. Just you can even close that. You can even close that screen down if you want and come back into it, and that migration will still be running. It doesn't stop because you're not on that screen anymore. It's just giving you visual feedback here that something is going on. It could take a couple of minutes, it could take several hours. It just depends on how much mail you're transferring. You do need to watch it every now and again, make sure it's still running, make sure there's been no errors. When this is done, I will come back and show you hopefully the results. And maybe if I'm really lucky, there'll be an error that I can show you. Knowing my luck, there'll be an error. All right, guys, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, welcome back. Yep, that took a little while to run. Of course it did. But you will see now that it has run on my migration screen, we're saying that both users are completed. If I go back to configurations, it will tell us that it's completed all of the information, connection limit. There were no failed emails. There was nothing is in progress at the moment because it's completed, of course. So that's all done. Now, in case you're wondering how you find this screen, you do need to come back to your admin console, and you'll normally come back into your dashboard here. Come down to your data migration screen and it will all be here for you. So under migrations, shows you, let's just go back here. There we go. It'll come in here. It will show you the migration. It will show you its status, how many users you had, or how many mailboxes you were migrating. If you click on it, it takes you into those details. Now let's go and have a look, shall we? So I'm not going to show you my personal account where I've migrated all these into. I'm going to have to go and delete them, but they are all in there. If I come though back to, this is my Learn About Dogs account, the one that we've been using for the demos on this, Learn About Dogs here. And if we have a look in unread, I've now got 416 messages in all messages. I can see everything that's come in here. Now, I don't have it tagged in here. So it's really hard to show you and say, well, these them. Well, actually, that's a really good example I can give you. Let's zip into our settings menu and go to filters, much like I did on my other account, but oh, I forgot to add them here. Let's add a new filter and let's call this one the same as I called it on my other account. Any of these conditions are true. We want it to be from and we want it to be to the same address. I am literally just going to copy that. And we want it to be CC'd to that address. And I guess finally for full thingy, we want it to be BCC to that address. Okay, so if any of those conditions are true, what do we want it to do? We want it to set a tag, and we want to tag it as same filter I set up on the other one, right? Give it a pretty color, create the tag because it doesn't exist. Don't do anything more for it. We're going to click save. Okay, so now that's not going to run. Okay, it's not going to do anything. We've set the filter. It's not going to have done anything because the mail is already there. There's this really neat little feature with filters in Zoho, and that's once you've got your filters set up, you can come across as long as your mouse, as long as you're in your filter screen, mouse over the filter you want. You see this little funnel? It says apply to existing emails. If I click on that and say run that on my inbox, and did it not run? Let's go back to filters. Let me try that again. I did something wrong, I think. Run that on my inbox. Let's go and have a look and see what it's done. Tags, GGWH. Okay, so it's not gone into my inbox. I wonder where I put them all. I wonder if I've typed something incorrectly. Normally works. Fancy something not working for me. Let's go make sure I've typed things correctly because that's always a problem. Oh, no, look, there is actually a typo in my filter. So I'm going to go and edit that filter because I'm a fool. Just trying to do things too quickly and I don't check things. There we go. So there's a problem with my filter. That's why it's not running. We're going to do that again. Hopefully I've got it right this time. Going to go back to filters. We're going to go to that little funnel and we're going to say run it on the inbox. Perfect. It tells me that there's 103 messages been caught by this filter by running it this time. And now if I go back to my inbox and click on my GGWH tag, there's all the inbox that has come in. There's all the email that's come in on that account. Okay, so there's a fair amount to take in there. Let me come back and have a chat to you guys. Okay, fair amount to take in there. I wanted to do it step by step. I also wanted you to see when errors occurred. I could edit this out. I could edit out a whole heap of stuff here and say, oh no, I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. This stuff can be complex. It can be tedious. In fact, I don't even want to say complex. It's tedious. You need to work through each step. You need to make sure you go through each step properly. We need to be very exact in the information we give it to get the right results. So I wanted to show you where things can go wrong. I also wanted to show you how we could do those filters after we've done the import, because it's easy to forget to run them to put them on while we're doing the import. And in fact, you can leave them till after the import and just catch it all afterwards without having to sort of flick between screens to do things. So let me just quickly run through what I've done this morning here or today here on this episode. I've shown you how to connect your Google Workspace account to Zoho or authorize Zoho. Let me use those words. Authorize Zoho to your Google Workspace account so that you can start doing the migration. I've shown you how you add your server details so that it knows which account to connect to do the migration, which overall account to connect to do the migration. And then I've shown you how you can set up the migration for individual mailboxes and select where those individual mailboxes go. One question that I think will come up out of all of this, and I hope it does, and I hope you're asking that question, is, but Charly, can we be using the same email address on our Zoho Mail account, on our Zoho account, as we are on our Google Workspace account, and how does that work? The answer is yes. And the answer is yes in general, and I probably will end up doing a video on this separately because it's such a good topic. So the answer is yes, of course. You can have, and the idea is really is that you're going to be transferring your domain from one service to another, and you want to keep your email addresses the same. You just want to, instead of using Google, you want to use Zoho. Instead of using Outlook, you want to use Zoho. In this case, in this scenario that I'm using, the answer is yes, of course. You just set up the domain. You set up the same domain on your Zoho account. You have all your users ready to go. You don't necessarily have mail coming into that account yet. You don't need to have the mail coming into that account yet. You can literally just copy everything from your existing email account, which is the same email address on Google, into your Zoho one, and then when you're ready, point your mail service so all the mail comes through. I'm actually going to do a separate video on this and go into a little bit more detail, but the answer to the overall question that I hope you're asking is, can we use the same email address and the same domain name on the two accounts? Yes, you can. It's just mail is going to come into one account, one service, until you change your mail service and point it across. I hope that makes sense. Alrighty, guys. What do you think? There's a lot to go through there. I know I made a couple of mistakes. I hope it helps you that, if these mistakes get made and you've got to correct them as you go through. Do you have any questions, comments, feedback? If you do, leave them wherever you're watching or listening to this video. You can come across and join my community, askcharlyleetham.locals.com. I would adore to have you there as community members. It is designed for business owners who want to understand their tech a little better. Did this video help you? Was it useful? If it was, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. And guys, I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.